House will come to order. The pledge will be given today by Amanda Ruiz, Arupe Jesuit High School, Denver, Colorado.
Please join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Kohler, please call the roll.
Representatives Arndt. Becker J. Becker K. Brown. Buck. Buckner. Carver. Conti. Corum. Court. Danielson. Del Grosso. Dorr. Duran. Esgar. Everett. Fields. Foote. Garnett. Representative Garnett. Janal. Hamner. Humphrey. Joshi. Kagan. Klingenschmidt. Kraft-Tharp. Landgraf. Lawrence. Lebsock. Lee. Leonard. Lontine. Lundeen. McCann. Melton. Mitch Bush. Moreno. Navarro. Neville. Nordberg. Pabon. Pedersen. Primavera. Priola. Rankin. Ransom. Rosenthal. Representative Rosenthal. Rupe. Ryden. Sane. Salazar. Sias. Singer. Thurlow. Tyler. Van Winkle. Vigil. Willett. Williams. Wilson. Windholes. Winter. Wist, Young, and Madam Speaker.
Here. With 65 present, no absent or excused, we have a quorum. Representative Danielson.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Good morning. I move that the reading of the Journal of Wednesday, February 3rd be dispensed with and that it be approved as corrected by the Chief Clerk.
You have heard the motion that the journal be adopted as corrected by the Chief Clerk. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Motion carries. Announcements and introductions. Representative Hamner, Representative Eskar.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Members, please excuse me for 1 minute here. Members, may we have your attention? We are now starting announcements and introductions. And please pay attention to your colleagues. Thanks.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And colleagues, I'd like you...
Excuse me, that didn't work.
Okay.
Give me another minute. May we have your attention to the well for announcements and introductions, please?
Well, thank you, Madam Speaker.
Please proceed.
Now, everyone will be listening if I get a fine here this morning. But having said that, please welcome our K-12 and higher education counselors who are joining us on the floor this morning from across Colorado. And this week is National School Counseling Week. The recognition of National School Counseling Week helps increase awareness about the importance and necessary role school counselors play in the lives of students in Colorado. The legislature has recognized the importance of school counselors through the creation of the Colorado School Counseling Corps grant, which has dramatically increased graduation and college enrollment rates and reduced remediation and dropout rates in middle and high schools located in all regions of our state. School counselors are usually the only professionals in a school building who are formally trained in both education and mental health matters. School counselors are instrumental in helping students, teachers, and parents deal with difficult situations as students face a myriad of challenges every day, including peer pressure, depression, the deployment of family members to serve in conflicts overseas, and school violence. Therefore, please welcome and thank these hardworking school counselors for their invaluable contribution to our state and our education system. Thank you.
Representative Eskar.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And also joining the school counselors today is a group of people from the TRIO program that I am proud to have been an employee of many moons ago. So I just also wanted to welcome the TRIO program participants here today, too. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Eskar. And Representatives Eskar and Hamner, you can share a $4 fine on that one. Thank you. Representative Salazar.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
And may we have your attention, folks? I may just decide to fine the whole 65-member crew here if we don't start paying a little more attention. So, and I mean that too. I don't want to say that and laugh. And I did it again. But anyway, Representative Salazar, please proceed.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I think I have two announcements. Today, my wife and I celebrate our 10th anniversary. 10? Yes. And because of that, I may ask for a moment of silence for my wife while you guys pay her sympathy for being married to me for so long. Thank you very much.
Representative Wilson.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And as a school counselor in a former lifetime, welcome, folks. I have a very serious announcement, folks. You will not be reminded of the hot dogs cooking today because Christy's not cooking them over here in the kitchen. They'll be cooked outside. So if you're depending on your olfactory senses to remind you of the hot dogs, it's not happening today, but they are happening downstairs, 112 Sportsman's Caucus, high noon. See you there.
Representative Arndt and Representative Janal.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. It's our distinct pleasure to introduce the Doctor of the Day from Fort Collins, Dr. Corey Carroll. He's in the back here.
And thank you, Madam Speaker. Dr. Corey Carroll is from Fort Collins. He's a primary care physician, and he is the past president of the Northern Colorado Medical Society. Thank you for being here.
That means he's elected Speaker, and we don't anticipate a fine.
Well, they used to announce the doctor for the day every day here. Okay. And so I'm going to make a special exception and just fine you $1 apiece. So,
thank you, Madam Speaker.
And welcome, Dr. Representative Rupe.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Members, I'm up here again talking about the Veterans Caucus, and we sure would like to see more RSVPs. So just so you know who your co-hosts are, it's Representative Landgraf, myself, Carver, Lee, Ryden, and Senator Crowders and Garcia. So it's very bipartisan, and each of these are either veterans or actually represent a military installation or a set of installations. So we've got a great lineup. I would ask you to please RSVP so we have lunch for you and drinks for you. And do that to Jerry Reeler. You have a newer listing because it tells you what the speakers are going to be talking about as we talk about business and opportunities for our veterans. Thank you, members.
Representative Young.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Members, if you are on the House Local Government Committee, raise your hand. Raise your hand, House Local Government Committee. And now reach down with that hand and pick up your red book, because that's what you need to bring today upon adjournment to room 271 when you meet with the Senate Local Government Committee and the Joint Budget Committee under a Rule 25 meeting. See you there.
Representatives Garnett and Mr. Speaker Pro Tem Pabon.
Hi, thank you, Madam Speaker. Sorry about that, it's early. Members, it's Thursday, and Representative Pabon and I are down here to remind you to bring in your non-perishable items. And I think Representative Danielson has 2 bags worth to add to the salmon-colored bins down here. Let's give her a round of applause. We continue to collect non-perishable items today and tomorrow. So as you're thinking about wearing your orange to celebrate the Broncos tomorrow morning, please remember to bring in some items.
And Representative Landgraf.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And I'm getting money. So if anybody wants to donate cash, I will be going from Representative Young, who's over there doing jumping jacks. I will be happy. Well, I will go to the store and buy canned goods. I'll be thrilled to.
Thank you very much, Representative Landgraf. And Representative Pabon.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And members, yes, there's only 2 days left, today and tomorrow, to wear your Broncos orange. And I know everyone is planning tomorrow to wear Broncos orange in celebration of our victory, in hopefulness for our victory on Sunday, but also to have a victory over our hunger issues in Colorado and to beat North Carolina in collecting the most amount of food so that we can serve our needy. So thanks again for participating in this great cause, and look forward to seeing your non-perishable items come in today and tomorrow. And make sure you wear orange. Go Broncos.
Go Broncos. Are there further announcements and introductions? Seeing none, the next order of business is third reading, final passage of bills. Would all members please take their seats and prepare to vote? Mr. Kohler, please read the title of House Bill 1002.
House Bill 1002 by Representative Buckner, also Senator Kirk, concerning the ability of an employee of an employer who employs at least 50 employees to take up to 18 hours of leave from work for purposes of attending his or her child's academic activities.
Madam Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Members, we are on third reading votes. I move for the passage of House Bill 1002 on third reading and final passage.
The question is the passage of House Bill 1002 on third reading and final passage. Seeing no discussion, Mr. Kohler, please open the machine and members proceed to vote. Close the machine. With 35 ayes, 30 noes, and no excused, House Bill 1002 is passed. Co-sponsors. Close the machine. Mr. Kohler, please read the title of House Bill 1073.
House Bill 1073 by Representatives Duran and Del Grosso, also Senators Guzman and Sheffield, concerning the qualifications of licensed electricians.
Madam Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move for the passage of House Bill 1073 on third reading and final passage.
The question is the passage of House Bill 1073 on third reading and final passage. Seeing no discussion, Mr. Kohler, please open the machine and members proceed to vote. Close the machine. With 53 ayes, 12 noes, and no excused, House Bill 1073 is passed. Co-sponsors. Close the machine. Mr. Kohler, please read the title of House Bill 1012.
House Bill 1012 by Representative Wright and also Senator Scott, concerning a requirement that the municipal clerk file a copy of each statement of election results with Division of Local Government and Department of Local Affairs rather than Secretary of State.
Madam Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move for the passage of House Bill 1012 on third reading and final passage.
The question is the passage of House Bill 1012. Seeing no discussion, Mr. Kohler, please open the machine and members proceed to vote. Close the machine. With 65 ayes, no noes, and no excused, House Bill 1012 is passed. Co-sponsors. Close the machine. Mr. Kohler, please read the title of House Bill 1130. Oh, 1086.
House Bill 1086 by Representatives Wright and Nordberg, also Senator Holbrook, concerning modification of the dates on which the required performance audits of certain governmental entities are due.
Madam Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move for the passage of House Bill 1086 on third reading and final passage.
The question is the passage of House Bill 1086 on third reading and final passage. Seeing no discussion, Mr. Kohler, please open the machine and members proceed to vote. Close the machine. Close. With 65 ayes, no noes, and no excused, House Bill 1086 is passed. Co-sponsors. Close the machine. Mr. Kohler, please read the title of House Bill 1130.
House Bill 1130 by Representative Priola, also Senator Johnston, concerning changes to annual reports prepared by the Department of Education.
Madam Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move for the passage of House Bill 1130 on third reading and final passage.
The question is the passage of House Bill 1130 on third reading and final passage. Seeing no discussion, Mr. Kohler, please open the machine and members proceed to vote. Close the machine. With 65 ayes, no noes, and no excused, House Bill 1130 is passed. Co-sponsors. Close the machine. The next order of business is consideration of resolutions. Mr. Kohler, please read the title of HJR 1002.
House Joint Resolution 1002 by Representatives Coram and Mitch Bush, also Senator Baumgartner, concerning timely access to federal lands for dam restoration projects.
Representative Coram.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move HJR 002 and the Ag Committee report.
The motion is to adopt HJR 1002. Representative Mitch Bush.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. In committee, there was an amendment to this resolution, which included several different items, one of which was to broaden the definition from simply dams to all types of water storage structures, which might include, for example, stock ponds, and also to talk about communication and cooperation, as well as variation in the extent to which local agents of the federal land management agencies do indeed cooperate and communicate. I would urge an aye vote.
Is there further discussion on HJR 1002? Representative Brown.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and I come in full support of this resolution. There is a real problem with the federal agencies agreeing to allow us to take care of these structures on federal land. It's very, very important, and we need to send them a message, and thank you very much.
Representative Mitch Bush or Representative Quorum, did you move the committee report? Yes. Oh, okay, I apologize, I didn't hear that. So the question before us first is the adoption of the committee report. Is there any discussion on the committee report? All those in favor of adopting the committee report, please say aye. Opposed, no. It's adopted. So now we will move forward to discussion of the resolution, HJR 1002, as amended by the committee report. Is there further discussion? Please proceed, Representative.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. This is a good resolution. I think that we need to let everybody know that water storage is a big issue. Conservation is a big issue, and this sends a great message to Congress. Thank you.
Is there further discussion on Resolution HJR 1002? Seeing none, is there objection to taking a voice vote? Seeing no objection, all those in favor of adopting HJR 1002, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. HJR 1002 is adopted. Co-sponsors.
We're still waiting for that Senate joint resolution.
Close the machine. Members, we're waiting for a Senate joint resolution from the Senate, and I think before we get that, hopefully we can dispense with our announcements and introductions at this point, and then when the resolution comes over, we'll take it. So announcements and introductions. Any? Representative Tyler.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Transportation Committee, listen up. If you go upon adjournment to room 112 where we normally meet, you will be there all by yourself. So go across the hall to 107. Last night, this new super technology of sort of speakers and sound systems crashed and burned in 107 last night, so we're going to be across the hall. In 112, we're going to be across the hall in 107.
Further announcements or introductions? Representative Quorum.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I have talked to the minority leader and the majority leader, and I would request to be excused on Monday all day and from noon on Tuesday. Thank you.
Your request to be excused on those days is granted. Representative Williams.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Members of the Business Affairs and Labor Committee, we will meet today at 1:30. We will hear House Bill 161108 and 161119. I look forward to seeing you. And as we said, tomorrow we're going to show our support for the Denver Broncos playing in the Super Bowl, so you can wear your jerseys, but you may also wear jeans tomorrow. It will cost you $10 to wear jeans, and I'm going to be the police. All right? But you may wear your jeans tomorrow with a $10 fine. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Representative Lebsack.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Members of the House Local Government Committee will be meeting 5 minutes after adjournment today. We'll be meeting in room 271, and we'll be speaking with the JBC members.
Representative Foote.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Members of House Finance, we are meeting today. It's going to be in the normal place, LSB-A. We'll hear two bills, House Bill 1105, Representative Wilson's bill, and Senate Bill 20, Representative Casey Becker's bill, and we'll be meeting at 9:45 in LSB-A. Thank you.
Representatives Everett and Melton.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And even though you can wear your jeans tomorrow and pay a fine, one thing you can wear tomorrow without paying a fine is your bolo or bow tie for Bolo and Bow Tie Friday. So we want to encourage you to be sure to wear your bolos or your bow ties tomorrow on Friday.
And scarves as well. And scarves. Don't forget scarves. And try to wear orange, as much orange as possible, because go Broncos.
All right.
Are there further announcements and introductions? Do we have the resolution from the Senate here? Okay, so we'll take a brief recess, seeing no objection. The House will come back to order. Message from the Senate.
Madam Speaker, the Senate has adopted and transmits herewith Senate Joint Resolution 6.
May I have your attention, members? We have a resolution coming over from the Senate. Mr. Kohler, please read the title of SJR 6.
Senate Joint Resolution 6 by Senator Sonnenberg, also Representative Fields and Lawrence, concerning the designation of February 4th as Missing Persons Day in Colorado.
Madam Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move to suspend the rules for the immediate consideration of SJR 6.
The motion is to suspend the rules for immediate consideration of SJR 6. Is there objection to taking a voice vote on that? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries. Representative Lawrence.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move SJR 16-006 and ask that it be read at length.
Whereas, each year, hundreds of thousands of families are faced with what President Ronald Reagan called the stark terror of a unique tragedy, a missing family member. And whereas every 40 seconds, someone goes missing in America, approximately 2,300 Americans are reported missing every day, and there are as many as 90,000 active missing persons cases in the United States at any given time. And whereas in 2014, the FBI's National Crime Information Center logged 466,949 reports of missing children, by December 31st, 2014, the FBI reported 89,924 active missing persons in the United States, with more than half being juveniles under the age of 21. And whereas children and adults go missing from their families for a number of devastating reasons, they run away or wander and become lost, they disappear under circumstances indicating that their disappearance may not have been voluntary, or they go missing under suspicious circumstances indicating that they may be in physical danger or the victims of foul play. And whereas in 2002, Colorado Governor Bill Owens signed House Bill 1083 establishing the Amber Alert program in Colorado, named after 9-year-old Amber Hagerman, who was abducted and killed in Texas in 1996. The program ensures that local law enforcement agencies can use the emergency alert system in Colorado to broadcast information to alert citizens of missing children. And whereas since 1996, Amber Alerts have successfully recovered 772 children nationally. And whereas for all the important work done to recover missing children, the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children lists 58 missing Coloradan children from every area of the state. All disappeared from their families when they were children, and some have been missing for decades. And whereas while too many families grieve and hope for their missing children, others are in search of their missing family members of all ages. And whereas according to the Alzheimer's Association, 6 in 10 people with Alzheimer's or dementia will wander and may become lost, a frequent and frightening challenge for their caregivers and families. And whereas in 2007, Colorado Governor Bill Ritter signed House Bill 1005 into law, which expanded an alert program for senior citizens to include people with developmental disabilities to connect caretakers with law enforcement officials who can use the reach of the radio and television stations and other media to alert the community. And whereas the awareness of citizens, media, and law enforcement, as well as their support, their efforts, and their search for missing persons must continue. And whereas the public plays a critical role in the success of the Amber and Silver Alert programs, they become the eyes and the ears of law enforcement and can be on the lookout for the missing person. And whereas the common misconception that a person must be absent for at least 24 hours before being legally classified as missing is dangerous, when there is evidence of violence or of an unusual absence, it is critical that an investigation begin promptly. And whereas new advances in technology must be utilized and made available to locate the missing. And whereas the state of Colorado is committed to the safety and well-being of its citizens, both children and adults. And whereas the designation of Missing Persons Day in Colorado will firmly embed the importance of missing persons and their families and friends in our state calendar and will raise a level of awareness with other cities and states that have already designated a Missing Persons Day. And whereas the designation of Missing Persons Day in Colorado offers a platform to plan events that will connect families with resources to help identify and find their long-term missing loved ones. And whereas the designation of Missing Persons Day in Colorado will ensure that the families and friends of the missing know that they are not alone in this tragedy of uncertainties and lack of closure, which leads to extreme suffering and long-lasting effects on the health, finances, and relationships of those left behind. And whereas every missing person is someone's son or daughter, father or mother, brother or sister, partner or friend, and every missing person deserves to be searched for and found. Now therefore be it resolved by the Senate of the 70th General Assembly of the State of Colorado, the House of Representatives concurring herein, that we, the members of the General Assembly, recognize the epidemic of the missing in America as the silent mass disaster and empathize with the ongoing suffering of the families and friends of those who are missing. That we recognize the importance of raising awareness of the numbers of people who go missing in Colorado each year. That we applaud the committed efforts of families, law enforcement agencies, and concerned citizens who work to locate missing persons. That we encourage the continued support of worthy initiatives and private and public programs to increase efforts to locate missing persons. That we hereby designate February 4th of each year as Missing Persons Day and support the goals and ideals of the day. And that we acknowledge the names and the families of the Coloradans who are currently missing. Christopher Enoch Abeta, Luis Acosta, John Aiden, Carmen Aguilera, Jesus Alvarez, Catherine Allen, Victoria Elene, Angie Almanza, Brian Dale Ambrose, Ambreen Amjad, Uvaldo Moises Anaya, Keith Robert Anderson, Isabella Balajonda Anibal, Tiana Anibal, Carlo Isai Andrade, Cynthia Atterbury, Bonnie L. Baker, Brandon Masaki Baker, Victoria Bakhtiari, Linda J. Barker, Gayla Jean Barnes, Catherine Sue Barnum, Mario Barraza Murillo, Colleen K. Barrett, James Bartholomew, Tracy J. Bastion, Joseph Batty, Richard Glenn Bibe, Angelique Benson, Pamela Sue Barra, David Gerard Berger, Gloria Bereth, Casey Scott Berry, Abigail Jo Blagg, Marie Ann Blee, Robert Matthew Bachman, Mark Bonner, Leslie Allen Border, Robert James Bowling, Arthur Brandis, William Brennan, Lester Joseph Bright, Emily Bruner, Austin Eugene Bryant, Edward Dylan Bryant, Colleen K. Burgess, Daniel Burrow, Sherry Dawn Bynum, Frederick Lee Kane, Rocky Carpenter, Thad D. Carper, Christopher Kit Carson, Gregory John Carter, Timothy Darrell Case, Caitlin Caudill, Autumn Star Serenelle Lee, Rami Chabiari, Kenneth Anthony Chacon, Dana Chandelario Snyder, Lorenzo D. Chivers, Earl T. Clark, Randall S. Clark, Ray C. Collins, Christopher Michael Collier, Martin Ernest Conley, Darren Michael Connolly, Thomas R. Cook, Randy Kuhn, Timothy L. Copley, Patricia Ann Cordova, Sean Wayne Cordova, Charlene M. Kramer, Linnea Rose Cross, Angie Cruz Garces, Valentine Cruz, Julie L. Cunningham, Jonathan Dalton, Maurice Gordon Demetz, James Earl Dean, Samantha Delano, Julia R. Derempt, Fabian Del Rosario, Aifatu Derume, Nicholas Joseph Dulce, Nani Ann Dotson, Jennifer Ann Douglas, Rex Lee Douglas, Dean Drew, Stephanie Ann Dernovesk, Charles Ellsworth Duke, Keith Ebrecht, Adam N. El-Khadiri, Roger John Ellison, Bikime Elshani, Maria I. Emeterio, Beverly Lynn England, April Brenda Escobedo, Eric Espinoza, Mary Helen Esquibel, Julia Ferdig Cando, Elaine J. Falver, J.D. Ferguson, William P. Ferguson, John Patrick Fisher, Eugene Francis Fish, Jocelyn S. Fish, Stephanie K. Fladgard, Blanca Chanel Flores, Danielle John Florentino, Jeffrey Lee Fossum, Matthew Coleman Foxley, Mary Angela Gallegos, Evaristo Galvan, Elena Garcia, Shaida Gamey, Philip Gomez, Patricia Gonzalez, Robert F. Gonzalez, Jack Nels Gordon, Lucas White Gordon, Evan Eugene Graham, Elector Gray, Benjamin Franklin Gray, Kimberly Diane Green Medina, Sean Ryan Gribble, John Gruber, Patricia Ann Gutierrez, Benito Guzman, Emmanuel Guzman, Deborah Ann Hageman, Norma Jean Halford, Presley Dean Hall, Joseph Lawrence Halpern, Christopher James Harvey, John Truscott Haynes, Mitchell Todd Hine, Rhonda Elizabeth Heinrichsen, Deborah Ann Hereford, Carmen Rose Hetrick, Helen Holdman, Daphne Renette Hope, Teresa Lynn Hubbard, Joyce Hunter, Michael B. Hunter, Peter J. Hurst, Deborah K. Hyatt, Carl Leroy Jackson, Ashley Lee James, Brian James, Brian Russell Jaramillo, Dorothy L. Jenkins, Cipriano J. Jimenez, Jasmine Johnson, Ashton Richard Jones, Svetlana Jones, Benjamin Clements Kalina, Joseph L. Keller, Rebecca Ann Kellison, James Kilby, Sandra Lee Killian, Walter Iwao Kimoto, Richard James Kirk, Teresa Sue Knuth, Claudia Coe, Tiffany Coe, Shelley Kowalski, David Kramer, Bethany Krug, Ronald Kudemeyer, Summer Larna Duran, Lori Lee Lehman, Jamie Legoretta, Edith Bernice Lerns, John Francis Lenehan, Andy Joe Lepley, Jerry Dale Lesser, Patricia Ann Lilly, Maria Ling, Maria Lira, Dennis Lopez, Perla Lopez, Lori Renee Lucas, Lauren Mabut, Ernest Jonathan McCauley, Charles Stephen Madrid, Alyssa Mahan, Brandy Jo Melanson, Jennifer Lynn Markham, James Martin, Daniel Martinez, Stephen Martinez, Janelle Matthews, Bruce Scott McAllister, Penny Lynn McLeese, Michael Jerry McClure, Beverly Jean McCool, Oscar Joseph McNear, Crystal Medina, Douglas Edward Meir, Wendy Arlie Mendez, Diana Araceli Mendoza, Yvonne Marie Mestis, Michael E. Mateer, Richard Stanley Meyer, Thomas Arthur McCoud, Evelyn D. Middleton, Elizabeth A. Miller, Rachel Miller, Daniel Miranda, Rudolph Moder, Ruth Morales, Richard Kenneth Morgan, Shanti Mountain Sage Motri, Anthony Stephen Michael Moya, Irma Rosario Munetin Cueto, Binti Muse, Robert Meyer, Pamela L. Neal, Nancy Therese Nelson, Kara Nancy Nichols, Edward D. Nicholson, Mary Niemi, John Northrup, Geraldine Ann Obregon Ingles, Lee Stephen Oakes, Maria Rosario Olea, Liliana Oliveira, Anthony M. Olivari, Denise Lynn Oliverson, Jessica Eileen Ortiz, Sandra K. Patterson, Arshia Patil, Gia Patil, Ifeoma Pecorella, Theodore Peterson, Christopher W. Petty, Tom Pfeiffer, Robert Thomas Pilson Rahir, Gary Edward Pino, Leah Porter, Diana Judith Portillo, Brian Pitlinsky, Jorge Quinones, Kimberly Quinones Rivera, Alejandro Quinones Zapacio, Jocelyn Yvette Quintana, Beatriz Ramirez, Juana Ramirez, Sergio Ernesto Ramirez, Rosario Ramirez Lujan, Antonio Ramirez Orozco, Umbretta Luana Rahauser, Gerald Hugh Ray, Dylan Nicholas Redwine, Keith R. Reinhard, Kim Margaret Remmel, Ivan Renteria, Peggy Ann Reynolds, Ian Ashley Richardson, Alex Rivera, Amparo Rivera, Maria Guadalupe Rivera, Richard Dean Roberts, Sean Roberts, Brenda Carol Rodriguez, Justus Alcorta Rodriguez, Stephen Rogers, Georgia Lee Roner, Raniero Romo, Martha Rai Rooks, Alejandro Rosales, Marco Rosales de Lucia, Gary Jerome Rose, James Brian Rowe, Michael Damian Rust, Sandy Ruiz Salazar, Angela Sanchez, Caressa Sanchez, Mario Fernando Sanchez, Victoria Lenore Sanchez, Angelica Esperanza Sandoval, Christina Marie Sandoval, Kelsey J. Schelling, Teresa Schilt, Teresa Schmidt, Samuel David Schrupp, Robert Dwayne Scott, Jose I. Segura, Jessica Gale Shoemake, Nancy L. Shoup, Roberto Silva Perez, Nicole E. Silvers, John M. Simons, Jules Cirillo, Ronnie D. Cisneros, Paul C. Skiba, Sarah Ariel Skiba, Gerald Kenneth Solenbarger, Nathaniel Sonobe, Juan Pablo Mendez Soto, Rocio C. Sperry, David Arthur Stack, Jordan Brianne Statig, Julie Sean Stefanik, Angela Stevens, Daryl A. Stockert, Joseph Stocks, Laval D. Story, Raymond Stubblefield, Jeremy Jason Sullivan, Alexander J. Talamantes Borg, Vera Terrazas Para, Lori Ann Thiel, Tormy B. Taylor, Rodney L. Thomas, Aaron Thompson, Joel Matthew Thompson, Mallory Tillman, Nicole Torres, Paul Vernon Trowbridge, Sherry Lynn Trujillo, Shane Kelly Turner, Legia Miranda Uribe Ramos, Michelle Eliana Uribe Ramos, Raylan Trujillo, Carla F. Valdez, Michelle Ray Vanek, Cecilia L. Vargas Merlos, Oscar Vasquez Garcia, Jeremiah Vaughn, Juan Velos Reyes, John Michael Vengren, Nicole Anna Vera Rico, Amadeo Vigil, Christopher William Vigil, Robert Gilbert Vigil, Roger A. Vigil, Grayson Wagner, Michael Robert Walzak, Donald Emmett Wall, Patricia M. Wallace, Darlene Ann Wallace, Robbie Allen Wardwell, Larry Watts, Seth Daniel Weaver, Ryan Wheater, Kathy Wilkerson, Dale Dwayne Williams, Barbara Wilson, Jinx Wilson, Wendy Renee Weisner, Timothy Dale Witt, Sturgis Lee Wittenberg, Ronald Lee Wood, William J. Worley, Eric M. Zukpuk, Brian J. Yeagley, Shelda Yenter, DZ Yuying Pu, Harold Young, Alejandra Zavala, and Leyland Zook. Be it further resolved that copies of this joint resolution be sent to Voices of Victims, Families of Homicide Victims and Missing Persons Incorporated, Colorado Victims for Justice, the Colorado Organization for Victim Assistance, and the Colorado Bureau of Investigation.
Representative Fields.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Thank you, colleagues, for allowing us to share this time with you. I also want to thank Corey for reading all of those names. Representative Lawrence and I wanted the names read out of respect for the many families that are here, and we're going to be introducing them a little later, and they have pictures of their loved ones. But on behalf of the Colorado House of Representatives, I want all of you to know that we care very deeply about missing children and people in our state. And it really hurts my heart to hear every single one of those names be read today. Because if you ever have someone that you really love and that you really care about and that they're missing, I can only imagine that that creates a very dull, aching pain. I can only imagine what the grief is like for you, knowing that that person is out there somewhere, but not knowing where they are, if they're still alive, if they're still well, if they're happy. I can't imagine what that's like to live with that kind of pain. But I'm so proud of the work that we've done in the state of Colorado to address this issue. In the resolution you heard in 2002, Governor Bill Owens signed the Amber Alert, which is where we all get those messages on our text phones or on our phones. We get messages on the TV alerting us that some child, somebody is missing. And when that happens, we all get on alert, and we try to help law enforcement to help identify that car that was last seen at that crime scene. I think about the work that's being done by the National Center of Missing and Exploited Children and the work that they do to help capture and locate some of these folks. On a personal note, I had an opportunity to talk to Beth Holloway. After losing my son, we formed a bond, and we talked about her son, her daughter, Natalie, who was missing. And I asked her, where do you think she is? What do you think the outcome is? And she told me that she felt like her daughter is no longer with us. And she's come to the realization that she's no longer with us. But it took her some time to get there, because you never want to think the worst. And as a mother, you never want to have to bury your child. You want to be able to outlive your children. And she's having to live with the fact in her own personal heart, knowing the investigation of what the police did, she believes that Natalee Holloway is no longer with us. So all I have is words of encouragement for you all. And my advice would be, I understand the guilt. I understand the grief. But please know that we care about you. We're here to listen to you. We want to help solve those crimes. I don't like the fact that these folks are still missing. We're with you, and we care about this topic.
Representative Lawrence.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I would just like to ask the family members who have brought pictures if you would like to show them to the chamber at this time. I think it's important that we put a face to some of the names that we just heard. These are not just names that are read on a list. These are family members. These are fathers, daughters, sons, moms, aunts, and uncles. And although we're setting aside February 4th as a recognition day for missing persons, the families here live with this every day. And to deal with that kind of worry, should I have watched out for him a little bit more? Should I have taken that last phone call? Did I tell him I loved him before they left? I just want to make sure that we take this personally. There are families who are grieving every day across the state. And I know that the people in this building do what we can to make sure that we write laws that support victims, that recognize that there are innocent people who are hurt every day, and we try to do what we can to rectify that. But when you have a missing person, that worry never ends. So members, I want to thank you for the respect and the time that you've given us and the respect that you've shown the families who have been here, and we honor you, and we thank you for coming to share your lives and your stories with us today and give us the opportunity to recognize missing persons in Colorado and hopefully raise the level of awareness across the state to what some of these families are dealing with on a daily basis. So thank you, members. I appreciate the respect and honor that you've given this resolution.
Is there further discussion on SJR 006? Seeing none, the question before us is the adoption of SJR 006. Is there objection to taking a voice vote? Seeing none, all those in favor of SJR 006, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. SJR 006 is adopted. Representative Lawrence.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I ask that today's roll call be added as co-sponsors.
Is that in the form of a motion?
I move that today's roll call be added as co-sponsors.
Thank you, Representative Lawrence. The motion is that the current roll call be listed as co-sponsors on SJR 006. Seeing no objection, so ordered. So, members, we will have a motion to recess until later this afternoon, but when we do that, I invite you all to welcome and visit with our guests that are here. We're very happy that you're here, and our thoughts are with you. So we will move forward to visiting with guests as soon as we recess. Madam Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move the House stand in recess until later today at 1:30 p.m.
The motion is to recess until later today at 1:30 p.m. Seeing no objection, so ordered.